Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about mood and tone. Before we start, I just want to remind you that you do have a video lecture worksheet that goes along with this PowerPoint, so make sure that you are following along and then turning this into Schoology prior to our next class. So let's go ahead and get started. The difference between mood and tone is pretty simple, but oftentimes people get them confused. So mood is the feeling that a story creates in the reader. The way I like to remember it is M for mood equals M for me. It's how I feel about the story. Tone, on the other hand, is the author's attitude towards the subject or audience of the story. So mood is all about me and how I feel about the story. Tone is all about the author and how the author feels about the story. Moods can be either positive or negative. So moods can be hopeful or gloomy, cheerful or violent, joyous or tense, playful or heartbroken, peaceful or painful. So if you ask yourself, how does a writer create mood? Well, they do so by picking a particular setting, using very descriptive words, the punctuation they use, the sound of the words as they work together all helps to create the mood of the story. So take a moment to look at this image. When you look at this image, do you think that the mood is violent, peaceful, or playful? If you picked peaceful, you were correct. We look at this picture and it looks like a very peaceful place, somewhere where we might want to be. Now, if we look at this picture, or this collage of fireworks, is this gloomy, painful, or cheerful? If you pick cheerful, you are correct. When we think about fireworks, we usually think of the 4th of July, summertime, happy, thoughts, being with friends and family. So most people would pick cheerful. Now, if we look at this one, is it tension or is the mood peaceful? And most of you would pick tension. We have the colors red and black, and it looks kind of mysterious. And so this is definitely more tension than being peaceful. Okay, now we have this one. Is it cheerful? Is it gloomy? Or is it painful? Most people would pick gloomy because of the dark black and the swirly lines. It looks more gloomy than cheerful or painful. Okay, now tone. While mood is the feeling that a story creates in a reader, like we said before, tone is the writer's attitude towards the subject or audience of the story. Ways to try to identify tone is to look for clues in the language the writer uses to help us identify how the writer feels about the subject. So, we have this nice little poem here. The Crocodile. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the water of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishes in with gentle smiling jaws. Okay, so we need to ask ourselves, what is the subject of the poem? A crocodile. What clues tell the reader the author's attitude towards the subject? And then finally, what is the tone? So the subject is the crocodile. And then we have cheerfully he seems to grin, neatly spreads his claws. These are all clues to the author's attitude. We have welcomes little fish and gently smiling jaws. So if we look at all of those little clues together, our tone is probably that the attitude towards the crocodile is that they are dangerous. So why are mood and tone important? Well, they are important because they help the reader to determine the author's purpose and the overall theme or lesson of the story. All right, that is our presentation on mood and tone. Don't forget to complete your video lecture worksheet and turn into Schoology. Have a great day!